One day in a small town, a local philosophy professor known for his unique teaching methods made a special visit to a primary school. The day of his visit, he arrived in a classroom, an intriguing glint in his eyes and a large empty glass jar tucked under his arm. This caught the kid's attention instantly. With an air of playful mystery, it was clear this wasn't going to be your usual school day. He placed it on the table in front of everyone and then, from under the table, he brought out a pile of large stones, each about the size of a fist. Carefully, he began placing these stones into the jar one by one until he could fit no more. He turned to the class and asked, "Is this jar full?" Seeing that no more stones could fit, the students nodded and replied, "Yes." To their surprise, the professor then pulled out a bag of pebbles. He started pouring them into the jar, shaking it slightly. Pebbles much smaller than the stones rolled into the open spaces between the stones. Again, he asked the class, "Is this jar full now?" Some of the students started to understand his point and hesitated, but many agreed again, "Yes, now it's full." The professor then produced a bag of sand and started pouring it into the jar. The tiny grains filled all the remaining interstitial spaces between the stones and pebbles. For the third time, he asked, "Is the jar full now?" The students, catching on, responded, "Probably not." Lastly, the professor pulled out a jug of water and poured it into the jar, saturating the sand. Only then did he agree that the jar was indeed full. He looked at his students and explained, "I want you to realize that this jar signifies your life. The stones are the important things, your family, health, and friends. Things that if everything else was lost and only they remained, your life would still be full. The pebbles are the other things that matter, your job, your house, your car. The sand represents the small stuff, the trivial things." He continued, "If you put the sand or the pebbles into the jar first, there's no room for the stones. The same goes for life. If you spend all your time and energy on the small stuff, the daily to-dos and the mundane tasks, you'll never have room for the things that truly matter most. The stones are those things critical to your true essence and happiness. They represent spending quality time with your loved ones, caring for your health, but also pursuing your dreams and passions. If you don't prioritize these, you may find at the end that you've left out the most important parts of your life." He then concluded powerfully, "Make sure you put the stones in first. They are your foundation, your main pillars. They are your family, your health, your dreams. Don't let the pebbles or the sand, the secondary tasks, the routine, the trivialities, take precedence over them. At the end of your journey, it is the stones that will weigh the most in your jar of life, defining its value and meaning." As the professor concluded his speech, a thoughtful student raised her hand and asked, "But professor, what about the water? Where does that fit into our lives?" The professor smiled at her insightful question and responded, "The water. The water signifies that no matter how full your life may seem, there's always room for a cup of coffee or tea with a friend. No matter how busy you are, there's always space for small moments of joy."